Welcome to the Landscaping Podcast. My name is Joel Barnett and I'm your host. And in today's episode, I'm talking with Brooke Goodwin from BLOOMS. Brooke runs a landscape design, construction and maintenance company based in Brisbane. Has been for the past 12 years and just got a lazy 96 employees on their team, which is just a staggering number to think of when I've got two, and that keeps me busy. So it's I think she said she's got 20 in the office and the rest are evenly spaced over the design, construction and maintenance. We've got four designers in there, but still it's just a staggering way to think of how many staff she keeps employed. And it's also good to see that even though there are that many people, she's still got a clear passion for what she's doing. So that's something I spoke to her about, was how the passion changed from when she's actually out in the field to now that she's got that many employees that she has to look after how her role obviously has to change. So if that passion still remains, and she said it does, because she's very grateful for what the landscaping industry has done for her. So if she's able to allow other people to be employed so that they can have that same appreciation of the landscaping industry. So that was pretty cool to hear. I also love how she said that she set out clear expectations for the roles within the business. So when people were applying for a particular position, they knew exactly what was involved with that role. And then she's made certain systems and procedures for that particular task as well. So she said that it took 4 to 5 years to get that all right, but then once you've got it up and running, then you're just kind of maintaining it and adding things as they come up. So it was a good thing to hear that again. I like how she talked about how her designers help they go on site when they're doing the plant layout. So I've said it a few times how even though you might be installing something how it is shown on a design, if the design is there when you're doing it, it might change slightly for whatever reason. So it's good to see that she's doing that. And also giving them the mindset that she wants things done properly, even if it's going to cost a bit extra. So if it wasn't allowed for, but you see something that could be done to improve the project, she gives her staff the confidence and permission to do that. So that was pretty cool to hear. And we did also talk about the mural that's on their building where they have all their vehicles and offices. And so I'll put a link to the site on the webpage because it's a stunning thing to look at. So, and we talk about that a fair bit in this episode. But there's heaps to take out of this chat. So hopefully you enjoy this chat with Brooke Goodwin. Brooke, thank you very much for joining us on the Landscaping Podcast. My first question for you is, how did you start in the industry?
How did I start in the industry? So I got into horticulture when I was 17. I went to TAFE and did my Certificate 3 in horticulture full-time back then at Grovely TAFE in Brisbane. And it was like an entire campus dedicated to horticulture. It's not really there anymore, but I was very lucky to be a part of sort of an era where you could go to an actual facility that just was based on horticulture. I had lots of great mentors, and from there I did my work experience at a nursery called Barnett's Nursery in Brisbane. Again, that had been around for about 60 years and specialised in roses, fruit trees. We used to hold the annual rose show there, the annual camellia show there. I used to speak on frogs in the garden and native plants. We used to have talk shows every single weekend. So it was like a real gardener's nursery. And I was around a lot of very good people and a lot of mature people that had a lot of knowledge that was passed down to me. And it doesn't exist anymore. And there's not many nurseries like that anymore either. So again, I was very lucky in that sense. And from there, we went into a drought probably about 20 years ago, quite a substantial one. And a lot of the nurseries in this area, the land was worth a lot of money and sales were dropping and water restrictions were coming in and the drought was pretty severe. So a lot of places sold up and got out while they could. Yeah. So I found myself in commercial landscaping for about 5 months, which was a big change from being hands-on horticulture with people every day into an office, looking at quotes and specs, and it just really wasn't my thing. And I quickly went back to another little nursery and stayed there for a couple of years. And then the floods came in 2010 And yeah, took a break from that and just started on my own. And yeah, that's my little journey.
All right. So when did you start your business? Like how old were you then?
So I was 30. We've been running for 12 years.
Yeah, cool. And if you did you start doing just maintenance, or how did you start it?
So maintenance and small makeovers would have been the first type of work that I did. River bar and kitchen was actually my first ever large job. That was probably about 2 or 3 weeks into going out on my own. And I just grabbed my brother and my sister and my friend and my partner and said, help me do this. So I created the design and then we did the install. So not really heavy construction. I would just say sort of softscape, garden makeovers, and then maintenance.
Yep. And did you do much design or learn any of that when you were at the nurseries?
No, I'm just a really creative person. I love plants. Like I'm really passionate about plants and finishes. I've learned so much over the years and I just love putting things together, and I have no design certificates, or I'm not a landscape architect. I'm just a person that's been in the industry since I was 17 years old, and just really passionate about it and learned lots over the years.
Yeah, it's interesting seeing that a lot of good designers are just people who are passionate about what they do, so they love it so much. That's why it comes through that they're doing good work because they enjoy it so much. So it's not like it's a chore or anything that they're forcing out.
No, and I'm a really visual person and I like stories in the garden. So, my own garden was based around Australiana and the hills and Aboriginal culture and, stories that they would tell. And I had like a rainbow serpent through my garden with flowers and different textures. So that again is just my creativity in me. Like I like to picture a story and then create from the story. So
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, I love that one.
Yeah, well now too, also like if I need extra knowledge, if I need to be, my creativity needs to be supported by someone who has more expertise in, specifications, engineering and building. I just seek that from the right people and put it into my design.
Yep. Yeah, having the right people around you is important as well. So then it expands your skill set.
Yeah.
So what was it like getting projects to start with? How did you go about getting those, like including that first one that you got?
Oh, I'm a workhorse. Firstly, it was just a client that I had from the nursery that I worked. He ran one of the local colleges and they needed a gardener to come in 2 days a week and manage the gardens there. So that was like my first ever maintenance client. And from there, like a friend knew that I was doing gardens and they knew somebody, and that's how I got in with the river bar. So word of mouth was a key thing. And then I created pamphlets and I used to walk the streets and do letterbox drops. And I had a sedan car with the silliest graphics on the back promoting myself as well. And then you would get a few clients and then word of mouth from there. You might do their mum's or their friend's place. So that's how it grew from the start.
Yeah, a lot of marketing people talk down word of mouth because they say it's not actually advertising, but doing a good job is the best form of advertising that you can do because there's no stronger recommendation than someone who's had you work at their place before.
Yeah, word of mouth is what made me and Brooks Blooms what it is today. Some of in the first years was pretty much all word of mouth, and really strong relationships. Loved me and the team that were around, and yeah, just I wouldn't be here without word of mouth.
Yeah. So have you ever done any paid advertising like in the early days?
Yeah, yep. Obviously now we're a lot larger. It's not just me, so we have paid advertising like through Google AdWords. We have paid advertising through social media. We've never advertised in the newspaper or magazines as such. We do have some radio advertising. We've just recently, we have some billboards across Southeast Queensland. So definitely pay for advertising. It's not just me now. We've got a whole team that need to support and look after. And yeah, it's important to have that flow of project work coming through.
Yep. How many people have you got in your staff now?
We've got 96.
96.
96 staff.
Yes. Well, I was talking to someone when saying about had you coming on. I said, I reckon they've got at least 16 or 20 staff.
Yeah, 96
that's,
staff.
that's insane.
Yeah, so like very lucky. We have a great team. Like I'm big on bringing people coming into my space who are better than me at what they do so that they can teach me and just go about their role and do it to the standard basically that I expect. And yeah, it's been a journey to get to that, I'm not going to lie, but lots of mistakes along the way. But yeah, we're a great team, great family. We all know each other, we all interact with each other. So yeah, you're definitely not just a fly on the wall here. You're a part of a community, and that's the way I like it.
Yeah, that's like the advertising I've seen you do, like the messages you got on the back of the shirts and all that, all the words that you've got everywhere regarding the business, saying we love gardens, we love people. It comes across that you actually care as well. So it's not just that you're getting jobs to turn over, like I'm sure that commercial landscaping was that you worked for briefly. So like it's obvious that you actually care about what you're doing.
Yeah, a long time ago, I realized that this industry has provided me a lot. It's provided me a lot of stability in my life. It's provided me a job, been with me from a young age and something that's been mine. I've created this space for me. And as Brooks Blooms grew, it was really important that I was providing a space for other people to grow and learn and feel safe in, so that they could get the same experience that I had, or I could ensure that they didn't get some of the experiences that I did have. So people who work at Brooks Blooms are passionate about the industry. It's not just a job to them. And I make sure that when we employ people that they really do want to do this as a career, because landscaping is not for everyone. Maintenance isn't for everybody. It's hard work. And unless you really thoroughly enjoy it, you'll just be watching the clock, and you'll just want to get out of there. Mowing lawns to me is like fun, creating lines in the lawns, watching it grow, making sure it's thick. And I think we're unique people that care about that kind of stuff. So yeah, we work really hard to make sure that when people come into our community that they really align with that, and yeah, to care for and create beautiful gardens. That's our purpose when we turn up to work each day.
So how do you go about employing people like that?
So we obviously have, we go through Seek. We have multiple avenues where we look to find people. We do get a lot of people that come to us looking for work from the industry. So that's a bonus. They can obviously see that we have a portfolio and they think these guys look amazing to work for. Let's, hit them up for a role. But we do have HR team within Brooks Blooms that are we've got ads on the employment websites where we've got positions advertised. We would advertise the positions through social media as well. We do it internally. Obviously, our industry is not that big. And so a lot of people have actually worked with a lot of really good people that might be looking to, change roles. So yeah, lots of different avenues. You should be, if you're looking for growth in business, you should be looking for staff everywhere. Everything should be, yeah. And also you need to make sure that the space that they come into is somewhere that they want to stay and that they want to be as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you wouldn't have that many staff if you didn't have that kind of place that you created. That wouldn't last. So how did you go about when initially starting out doing the maintenance and the small softscapes? How did you increase the type of work that you took on?
Lots of mistakes, actually. So in those first couple of years, like I said, I was hiring family members, friends, a friend of a friend. They had no experience in the industry. They had no passion for the industry. It was just very quickly I started getting all of these projects and all of these new clients. It was quite quickly, actually. And I found myself working, 12-hour days, 6 to 7 days a week in those first few years. And it was just help. And then that sort of went a bit pear-shaped because obviously people what I was hiring weren't very passionate about what they were doing. So they'd cut corners, they'd make mistakes. And that created a lot of stress as well because I have high expectations and I want people to enjoy the Brooks Blooms experience and I want them to have quality workmanship, and it just wasn't happening. So then I'd have to pick up the pieces. So after about 2 years, I went to business school. I'm obviously a gardener. I'm a horticulturalist. I have no business degree, no business background at all. I left school quite young as well. So I sort of haven't studied anything to do with business, and just learnt some basic principles about creating, a business structure, roles and positions, job descriptions for staff, and then some hiring processes. And then more, there's just layers and layers and layers to all of that to make sure everything's getting processed properly within the workspace. And within doing that, I was able to create a structure that made positions that I could then offload some of the things that I was doing to those new roles. And then because I'd created these job descriptions, I was able to advertise for a particular role that had an actual job description, so people knew what they were applying for, and they knew the expectations of those roles as well. And then within those roles, there was procedures on how the roles needed to be carried out. So once I'd sort of done all of that, which was, a 4 or 5 year process, I started to slowly hire these people that are passionate about the industry, people that have great attitudes, that want to learn in the industry. And just quite quickly, it grew from not being so amazing to just this flourishing community of people that, like-minded and love gardening, passionate about landscaping. And yeah, that's sort of how it all happened.
Yeah, I reckon that a lot of people would love that you created their job description for them, and so they know exactly what they need to do. So they're not just rocking up to work, not really knowing what they're doing. So that sort of would kill a lot of their creative flow as well. Whereas if they know exactly what they need to do, then they can sort of start thinking about it, thinking of better ways to do things as well. So it benefits you as well.
Or to give you just to give you a small example, with estimating or quoting, we're 99% residential. So our sales team go and meet clients every single day to look at their properties and walk through their gardens. And without any sort of expectation from me around, what I expect from these meetings and how I expect people to be treated in their own homes, that the timeline for sending out quotes, that without any processes around that, they can just, do what they want. So yeah, that's just a small example of one of the things to make sure that everything still has my love and care all over it, because that's what got Brooks Blooms to a position where it was able to grow. And then, I'm not on the ground anymore meeting clients, and, I'm not doing that. So you hold a lot of faith in people that they're, doing the right thing. And yeah.
Yeah, and making those systems and processes like the example you gave, there's nothing groundbreaking in there or complex, but it's just the fact that you've got that written there, so then they know what to follow. And like you said, that takes a long time to do those things, but all the different tasks that you've got your staff doing. But then once you've got that up and running, then it's just a thing you just keep topping up as you need to, and it's.
And we're constantly learning and growing as a group, always. This week, we've had an overhaul of a few systems and the way we do things, and you need to constantly be looking at things because lots of things change, people change. So you just can never sort of drop the ball on overlooking all of that stuff either.
Have you had a business coach at all?
I have, yes. So when I went to the business school, it was a trade-based school, and within there, I had a business coach at the college. And we've become very, very close, and I still see him regularly. Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
But not just a business coach. Lots of good people in my life, outside of family and friends that I can talk to, go to for advice on all sorts of different things. And you really need that, because we don't know everything.
No, and the longer you're in the industry, the more you realise that what you don't know as well.
Yeah, you're constantly learning.
Do you ever do any mentoring for other people?
I like doing podcasts like this, and I do mentor some groups throughout the year just via Zoom, and probably around 30 people in a group. And it's sort of like a question Q&A session. And I might do 6 or 8 of them a year where we just sit and they talk to me, they ask me questions, I just answer it freely. I would like to think that the 90 odd staff that we've got, I have some really strong relationships within the team that most staff members are long-standing, 4 to 10 years, some of them. And I feel like I've been a mentor to a lot of them as well. Yeah. I like to think I am anyway.
Yeah. Well, yeah, the more you're growing, the more you would have to be anyway, because you'd be mentoring your leadership team and then they'd be mentoring the staff below them, and it just sort of rolls on like that.
Definitely. Yeah. I work closely with my leadership team, but I do also know all of the staff as well at work. So
yeah. So you do design and construction and maintenance, is that right? Those three?
Yep.
So do you have meetings with like the whole leadership team of all 3 different phases, or how do those meetings work?
Yeah, so my role as a CEO now is meetings, problem solving, supporting the team basically. And I still do designs for old clients and some new clients that come through. So I would meet with our project management team, the leaders of that. I would meet with our sales team. I meet with our office manager. I meet with our general manager. I also meet with our construction supervisors. I meet with our maintenance supervisors, and I would meet with our general manager as well. So all of that in a week.
Yeah, right. So every week.
Some of them can, every week, and they all have their own set meeting structures with their teams as well. But my door is always open for anyone if they ever need to talk or chat. Sometimes those meetings are on the fly in the hallway, but most of them are sit down, very structured, specific questions that need to be discussed, answered, so that we can just get on with it.
Yep. Yeah, I spent some time working at the bank, and there's a hell of a lot of meetings there. Like every day they have a meeting before starting, and it's so important to have the questions ready to go, so you're not just kind of making things up and just rambling on things that come to the top of your head. So
yeah, and sometimes I think, oh my God, I feel like all we do is have meetings, and I'm like, let's just skip it this week because we're so busy. Yeah. And then it's like, no, we can't skip these meetings. They're too important. And we always we just fall into old habits when you're really, really busy, because it isn't perfect. People fall sick and people are away. So, your weeks can be really crazy, but meetings are very important and structured, specific. For mine, it's based around where are we at, sales wise, design, what's the lead time? What are we sitting at? Things like that. So it's quite specific.
And what sort of time frames does it take for you to get a design from first contact to presenting it?
So from meeting a client to presenting it is probably 2 to 4 weeks, and then revisions after that. So usually from design to a quote is about 6 weeks from meeting the client. Sometimes it's quicker, and if they need a really quick turnaround, we can always have it done fairly quickly.
Yeah. And how do you find the passion for the business? Because it's obviously a hell of a lot different from when you first started to what you're doing now. Do you still love doing it?
Good question. I ask myself this quite a lot. Sometimes it pops up in random places at random times. Yes, I'm totally passionate about it. And it's the people I just keep thinking of the people and what the industry has provided for me. And it's still providing for me. And I just want to give back to the people that are at Brooke's Blooms and watch them grow and learn. And so very passionate about it, and also really passionate about the quality of the industry and making sure that we are at the top of our game and that people are getting the best plants, the best ground preparation, the best soil, the best turf. There's no cutting corners. It's just, really important to me that what we put out there and what people get is going to grow for a long time. And, when you're driving around the streets of Brisbane, because we're only small, there's nothing like driving around and going, I planted that tree 2 years ago. And I actually had that moment in Paddington 3 months ago. We were just driving along and I said, oh my God, I planted that tree with my auntie who's now passed away. It was 10 years ago. And it was a Michelia Champaca Alba. And I just thought, that's what it's about, and, 90 odd staff have that opportunity to do what I did all those years ago. So
yeah, I love that as well, walking around and looking at gardens you did. We went. It was on Halloween. We were trick or treating around our place with two other groups of friends, and we walked past the house, and one of the other women was because they obviously know I'm a landscaper. She said, "Oh, that's a nice garden, Joel." And it was I'd done that when I was a first year apprentice, and it was still basically exactly the same. So yeah,
So
it was
cool.
pretty. It's pretty cool. My kids don't care when I point it out, but that's
They will one day though. They'll appreciate it one day. You
yeah.
just don't get it yet.
So with the maintenance side of business, how many are in that part of the business?
I couldn't give you a breakup of it. It's fairly even. There's 20 in the office. So I'd say construction and maintenance is pretty much sort of that 35, 40 in each crew.
Yeah.
Yeah, led by, we have a development manager and a maintenance manager that are in the office. And then they have some maintenance supervisors under them. And then we have quite a lot of team leaders. And then we have our apprentices and our skilled garden assistants underneath them. I'm really big too on like that entire maintenance team need to be completing their horticulture degree if they haven't already started it or completed it. It's sort of a bit of a requirement at Brooks Blooms.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, that's the thing. You don't just want people because there's a lot of people who do garden maintenance, but they just mow lawns and that's it. Like they've got no idea about plants. They don't know when to be trimming and when like what to cut and what not to cut. And that's
and I feel like the issue too, like if there's one downfall of Brooks Blooms, is that a true gardener, like someone who's old and wise, has learned so many tricks along the way. And everyone has a different level of expertise and what they know. And a gardener is constantly learning. Like I still learn. So it is really hard to be perfect at garden maintenance and have a team that knows everything. It's almost near impossible.
Absolutely.
And you do struggle a little bit with that with clients because you want them to have the best experience. But like we're still all learning and growing. And we can't be amazing at every single plant and, like roses and fruit trees. There are certain skill sets. So juggling all of that is a lot. Yeah, but if we can provide an environment where they can learn and they can go do their certificates and we're upskilling, and we have lots of little internal ways where I try and pass on my knowledge and send me photos of pests, send me photos of plants. I don't mind answering those questions. It's fun to me. It's not like a burden. You're not pestering me. So things like that we're constantly, the door's always open to be learning. Yeah, so that the maintenance is a constant thing where people are continuing to learn as you would appreciate.
Yeah, it's like no one is going to be perfect in that regard, but the continuous improvement mindset is what you want. So you always want to be getting better no matter how good you get.
But from a business perspective, it can be difficult to juggle when you've got client expectations as well, because you can't have all 40 Brooks or Brooks running around. It's just not, it's not possible.
Yep. And how's it go in terms of the profitability in terms of being able to do projects that are close to each other and having the distance traveling between the projects minimal because you're not getting paid for that? Like, how do you work out that?
Look, we just have a straight hourly rate for our maintenance team. Obviously, we've got a lot of maintenance clients. We're on site from 7 till 3. Sometimes we can go over a little bit, like if they've got 6 jobs in a day and the traffic blows out, or they get caught 10 minutes at a job or something. But the ideal day is 7 to 3. Between that, could be 1 job, could be 5 jobs. The travel, you don't get paid for it. You just have to wear it. Obviously, we've done a lot of work on knowing profit margins that we need to make to be able to sustain a business. So you just have to factor all of that into it when you're working it all out.
And what sort of percentage of those projects that you're maintaining are ones that you've built?
A lot. A lot. I couldn't give you an actual percentage, but I would say 1 in 2 that we build, they would take on a maintenance contract.
Yeah. So when you're quoting it, do you say this is what it will cost to maintain it as well? Or?
No, when we're at the design stage, we obviously want to make sure, like, do you want to spend $1 million on maintenance? Do you have the time to maintain this garden yourself before we go and design something? Because we don't want to be putting in annuals and roses and all sorts of things where you need to be tending to them sometimes daily. So we'll get a bit of an idea then of, how much they want to invest into the maintenance. And from there, if they want a garden that requires a lot of maintenance, we would suggest to them, this is what we think it would take to maintain this property. If you were to get, Brooke's Blooms to do it, to give them an idea, and they might say, yep, that's fine, or no, we can do it ourselves. But as a general rule, when we get to the end of a project, we will always offer them the service of maintaining the garden.
Yeah. And do you have much feedback between the maintenance crew and the construction crew and the design crew about things like the maintenance crew might find something that they think, if you design it differently, it'd be easier to maintain, that sort of thing?
Yeah, we do. Definitely. We get critiqued a lot sometimes. Sometimes it's on the planting. Like if I was, like I say, we're not perfect, but I have had on occasions where the maintenance team, given the horticulturalists in them, might think that there's been some plant out where the planting could have been done a lot better. And then they'll obviously rectify it and, fiddle around and fix a few things up. So that can happen because the construction team, we do have some horticulturalists and some people with good plant knowledge in there, definitely, but not a great percentage. So that pops up and they'll come in and they'll say, this didn't work. These were planted too close to the driveway or the garden edge. Next time, can we make sure when we do plant layout, can we set them back a bit further? Or recently we had all of the summer rain and the humidity, and the team were using a lot of lavender, and within a week or two they were just turning their toes up and dying. So constructive feedback around things like that.
Yeah, it's
and
an awesome
really
thing.
Really open to it.
Yeah, because it's a great thing to have, because if you don't have those people within your team, that you don't know that you could be doing things better.
Yeah, and you can always make mistakes in design. Like I've done plenty of designs where I go and do the plant layout or the site set out, and I'm like, this doesn't work, and okay, we need to reset and make adjustments, and that can happen. That can happen regularly.
Yeah, I've said that a few times. When you're like, the construction team might put the plant layout exactly as it's been designed, but if the designer was there on site during the plant layout, they might change things slightly because it feels like it would work different when you're actually doing it compared to on a piece of paper.
Yeah, our design team do all their plant layouts and setouts. So I'm big on that, making sure that they're the ones that are there doing it, so that they can pick up on things. And I've always say to them, don't worry about like if something's not right and it's going to cost us money to repair it, we're doing it because it's really important that when you walk away you're really happy and it's how it should, how you visualized it. So that's a key thing too for us.
Yeah, because might be doing like a $70,000 project, and when they're putting the plants out, I think a few more of these would have looked good here, but didn't want to spend $200 just to make. So yeah, I can see how that makes sense.
Yeah, I just give them the freedom to go with their guts and just make it work. And they need to be a part of. They can't just be doing designs and then just sending them off and not getting out and amongst it. It's not fulfilling for them either.
Yeah. I've got a landscape architect on who was previously doing commercial work, and so she would do the designs and then almost never see the products built. So it makes a massive difference being able to see it built, because then not only can you learn, but you also get some satisfaction out of it.
Yeah, we had a lady come up from Melbourne. She's a mature lady, and she'd worked as a landscape architect in commercial work for years. She'd gone to Canada and done it, and she just said, like, just the sitting in the at the computer, fix this, fix that, never saw anything. And now she gets to be a part of it all, and she just loves it. It's great.
So what sort of things do you do for staff morale, like outside of work? Do you do any events or anything like that?
Yeah, we do lots of events. We're pretty big on that. So for the fun stuff, we have we go to the races every year. That's like a family day. So, +1, bring your friend, bring your partner, bring your sister, whoever you'd like to bring. We have a pretty substantial Christmas party. And we also, so during work hours, we have our annual team day where we go and do a large obstacle course together. It's called the Raw Challenge. It's in Mullumbimby in the Gold Coast hinterland. So we set off there for the day. We do it on a Friday. It's the first Friday of August, and spend the day together. We have a barbecue. It's a lot of fun. This year, there's 5 of us setting off to do the Kokoda Challenge over in Papua New Guinea. So that's big. We tried to put that forward just when COVID hit, and so it's been delayed until now. So I'm tackling it with 5 of the other teammates from work. So that's something that we're really excited about, and sort of hoping to it's just all about independence for me, and building strength and being really independent, being able to step away from everything and challenge yourself. And it's going to be a very big challenge. And we'll do that annually. What else do we do? We sponsor the AFL, the Brisbane Lions. So we have a corporate set up with them at all of the home games. So quite often a big group of people, every second weekend are at the game, hanging out, doing things like that. There's a few things that we do.
Yeah, cool. And
we
you do
Melbourne Flower Show, Nambour Show. So
yeah, there was. I did see your team. I think, I don't know how many there were. I reckon maybe 7 were there. You would know how many?
Yeah, there was 4. There was 4 down at the Melbourne Flower Show.
But what I liked seeing them was because they were in their uniform, which is a good thing to do. And also, I liked how they weren't just walking past the garden, taking a photo, and then going to the next one. They were like really looking into the details of everything, and they spend quite a few minutes at each garden before they move on. So you could tell they actually cared about what they were doing.
That's our whole design team. So that's Matt, our design manager, and then Amelia, she's our senior designer for the one from Melbourne. And James he's in his last year of landscape architecture. He did leave us for a little bit and went into commercial architect. He just missed the garden. Like he came back and he said, "It's not for me. This is for me." And Ella, she's been with us for just over a year and a half, and she's just all she wants to do. So they were and 2 missed out last year because we went into lockdown. They had COVID just before the day before they were meant to fly. So they came back with all this inspiration and are really passionate about everything that everyone creates there, the different textures, the different materials. Yeah, they love it. They're a great little bunch, and they work really well together.
Yeah, perfect.
And all you guys talk, lots of people spent a lot of time with them when they were there. They didn't have to. They recognized they're in their uniform and said hello and chatted to them, and that was just great to see the industry just sort of supporting each other.
Yeah, it's such a good logo as well. I love the logo on the back of the shirt. It just really stands out and it's unique.
Yeah, so that comes from my favorite plant is I call it Eucalyptus Summer Beauty. It's now Corymbia Summer Beauty. I just used to have a picture of the flowers on the side of my car, and it just used to say Brooke's Blooms and my mobile number. And you can't really use that for branding across platforms, and it was a little bit backyard home job. So when I engage with Amanda, she does a lot of our branding. I'm really specific on things. I think I just drove her so nuts with this. She came up with probably 40 different options. I was like, no, it's not it. It's not it. But it actually, if you look at it, you know the summer beauty flower?
Yeah.
The eucalyptus? Yeah, of course you do, yeah. So if you actually look at it, it's like if you were just to look at the stamens, it's kind of like the ends, and when she did that, I was like, you've got it. That's it. It's it. So I love it. It's part of everything, and we can, do lots with it. But that's the story behind the logo.
Yeah. And speaking of stories, I absolutely love what was on your website, where you've got the meaning behind the mural that you've got on your shed, for lack of a better word, like your site where you have your offices and all that sort of thing. So how did talk to me about some of the things that are on that mural, and the meaning behind getting it done.
Yeah, well, again, creative, like to tell a story, and I just love street art. I just think that, my upbringing, I have a lot of, not a lot, I have a few friends that street art and being able to express themselves has helped them through their life journey and kept them, out of trouble, for hearsay. So giving artists a purpose and being able to tell stories so that the whole world can see it, I think is a beautiful thing. You know, Melbourne do it really well. And I also think it adds a lot of life, happiness to areas. So I just have always wanted to do a mural somewhere. And when we were given the opportunity and we jumped on building the building that we have, that this big, it's a huge building, and that wall was just going to be concrete.
Yeah.
And I was like, we're doing our mural. And, you know, I'm a bit of a storyteller in my head at night, or when you go for your walks, you know, you picture and you daydream stuff. So I sent a message to a lot of the team who'd been with us for a long time and said that I was going to do this. And I asked them if there was something that they wanted on the wall that, you know, when they thought of Brooke's Blooms, what did they think of and what would they put on the wall? So a lot of them gave me some things. And then plus my own things that I wanted to put on there. So it does have a backdrop of Brisbane, the sun setting. It's got Mount Cootha and the city in the backdrop, and you can see the cranes working away in the city. It's quite deep into the image, and Mount Cootha being, you know, the mountain in Brisbane. And just after that is sort of Paddington, which was one of my first ever clients, and we still go to her garden when she needs us. It sort of shows the front facade of her property, and it's a very old cottage. And then coming off that is like Mount Cootha, the hill, and then the old workhorse van that I first bought with all my money that has a lot of stories and just like needed to be on the wall. And it's a bit beaten up and it's got graffiti on the side, and it's got an old logo on the side. Yeah, and then underneath that, I think, is my dog. He's not with us anymore. So, yeah, he probably spent 5 years of his life at our old shed, not the new one. He never made it to the new one. But my partner would take him to work at like 4 a.m, and we have a lot of dog people at work. So a lot of people grew very close to him. So he needed to be on the wall so that, you know, everyone could see him. And yeah, all the new people that come in, we could talk about him and tell funny stories of when he went crazy in his old age and the things he used to do. There's a few running jokes on the wall. You know, my husband, they say choice tulips because of Brooke's Blooms, and so choice tulips are on the wall. And there's some blue butterflies, which is my little nephew that passed away. There's a few funny stories. Joel, he's our project and sales manager, been with us for about 5 or 6 years now, where he went camping one weekend and caught some turtles and then put them in a client's pond sort of without telling her, and they ate all the fish, and like they're still there today. This is like, you know, 4 years ago, and they found them wandering in the neighbor's yard and just things like that. And then you'll see a lot of native flowers. You'll see the big summer beauty flower that's quite large on the wall. There's some beautiful wattle, Acacia fimbriata, which is sort of scattered throughout Brisbane when it's in full flower. There's some Banksia flowers scattered throughout, which is like, you know, all me. And yeah, it's so full of life. When you, honestly, if you ever come to Brisbane, seeing it in real life, like on the website and what you see just doesn't do it any justice. And it turns out that Dr. Apple, Travis, the artist, I actually went to school with. And when he came to do it, he's like, "Are you Brooke?" And I said, and he lived around the corner. And I said, "Were you that blonde guy that lived around the corner?" And we just connected straight away. And yeah, it was really cool, really, really cool experience. And to see them do it was just amazing. They're definitely really talented. Yeah, you guys do it so well down there. So yeah,
to be able, like, there's one thing wanting to have all those things in there, but being able to piece it all together the way it's been done is phenomenal.
Yeah, he was like, "Brooke, calm down with the stories, like calm down with the items." He's like, "I don't want it to look messy." And I just said, "I don't want to stop you from being like creative. Here's a whole heap of things, and then I'm not going to stop you from doing anything." And I just let them be with it. Because if I went in and said, "Oh, no, don't put that there. Oh, can you put this here?" Then they can't be creative. And I could never do that. But they were amazing. They were like work like 14-hour days. and at night they would project all the images onto the wall and be up there on the cherry picker tracing all of the images. And yeah, in some parts it's like an oil painting, and I was watching them do it, just the layers and the depth, like on the wattle flowers, there's just so much depth in sort of each flower. It's just beautiful.
Yeah, I definitely will be swinging past if I'm ever in Brisbane, because I was looking at it on the website thinking I want to see more of it. So
Yeah,
I reckon it would look
I want the
amazing.
whole world to see it. I was like, we need to call people. How can we get this so that they could see what they've created? It was nothing about like Brooke's Blooms or us. It was just like, I want people to see what you've done. It's just phenomenal. So
Yeah.
but they do work all across Australia. They're really, really top guys. And yeah, so
Yeah,
yes,
it's a
please
bit.
do come and visit, see it.
I do like the temperature that you usually have in Brisbane as well. It's a bit nicer than Victoria.
Yeah, you've not been getting a very good weather at the moment.
No, it never is. I don't know why we live here.
Yeah, but
But
you have beautiful plants. You get to grow lots of things that we can't grow up here.
yeah, it's the grass is greener though. That type of mentality, because you've got something that we can't grow as well.
Yeah.
So what do you have in terms of goals for growth for Brooks Balloons? Like, have you ever had more staff than what you got now, or are you just continuing to grow as the staff come along, just organically?
No, we're actually in this is the size we want to stay. We will organically grow very slowly with maintenance, because we're not exactly like passing away new clients and saying, sorry, we're not taking on any more jobs. So we'll organically grow our maintenance side of the business. But from our construction side, no, we're happy where we are now. We have a great team. Our office is full. There's no more seats. And yeah, it's big enough to manage. And yes, this will be it.
Yep. So what was the process like growing like that? Did you have goals to grow to a certain size and like a certain number of construction crews or anything like that?
No, no, I didn't. It just happened really quickly, and then before you know it, this, like you need to hire more staff. You've got more work. Your lead time's out to 12 weeks. People don't want to wait that long, so you start to lose work. And yeah, it just sort of happens. And then through that September through to January period where it's really busy, you can have substantial growth through there. And sometimes you get caught up in the whirlwind of it all, and you spit out the other end of it and be like, okay, what just happened? And you sit down, with my team, my coach, and we have discussions around what it looks like, where we're at, where we're trying to get to. Yeah, so we actually had a big meeting at the start of this year where I don't want to keep growing. It's a grind growing. It's like push, 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 push. And I've never been in just maintenance mode where you just maintain the levels that you are. And I feel like it's going to mean less work for me if we just maintain, and I can focus on the team more rather than, have all those extra jobs that I need to do in terms of hiring people and onboarding. I can just focus on the team that we have.
Yeah. Yeah. So you can actually either focus on improving the product or improving profitability rather than focusing on growing.
Yep. And just look at efficiencies within the company and be able to give them the attention that they need.
Yep. I've got two more questions for you. One of them you can't answer. I'm going to ask what your favourite plant is, but it can't be. It's got to be other than the summer beauty. So what's your favourite plant?
Other than the summer beauty, I don't have one other than that, because I get a bit of a like into plants, but I am like a real perennial. Like I love salvias. Like I really love salvias. Do I have a favorite one? Just the really old-fashioned ones. Just love them.
Yeah,
they're beautiful.
Do you put the summer beauty in a lot of the projects that you build?
Yep, we do. When you can. I've planted them at headquarters. We've got 6 scattered around the gardens. One's in flower at the moment. But yeah, when we can, they're really hard to get. They're not available that often to purchase. I know last year that they're on back order for 6 to 12 months before you could even get one. So yeah, but they'll be used if we're doing a native garden or somewhere where it's calling for it.
Yep. Last question for you is, who do you think would be a good guest to have on the podcast?
Who do I think would be a good guest for you to have on the podcast? Oh, goodness me, that's a hard one. Have you interviewed Inga from Inga Landscapes?
I
You
have,
already have?
yes.
You
Yep.
have. She's beautiful. I love her.
Yeah, she was
Um,
awesome about talking about like you said, with the systems and procedures. It was good
yeah,
to hear how she did that. And then, like you say, you just start it slow, start with one, and then you do the next one. And then once you've got them all, then you just sort of maintain them from there. But that was
yeah,
awesome. Talking about
yeah.
that.
Maybe Lee from Living Style Landscapes. Like if you're looking for Queensland based, Lee is the president of Landscape Queensland, and he has a great company on the Sunshine Coast, and he's so passionate about the industry.
I've actually
And
got his name in my notes section because someone else recommended him as well. So
yeah, and
I'll do that.
I mean, I don't want to speak for him, but I think he would love the opportunity. Every time I've spoken with him, he just wants to support, love, and help. Yeah, good guy. Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. I'll do that.
Yeah.
All right. Can't thank you enough, Brooke, for coming on. Been looking
You?
forward to it, and I love the passion that you got for the industry, and it blows me away that you've got a business that size and still as passionate as what you are. So that's awesome, and thank you so much for sharing it.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I appreciate it and love what you're doing as well. And this is cool. I really did enjoy this. Thank you.